Hi everyone, good afternoon. It is afternoon here in Toronto and I'm doing my John Maxwell. So for me, I don't like working from home. It's very isolating, and I know a lot of people like working from the comfort of their homes and they enjoy it. But for me, I don't like it. So I try to go out every day, take a walk, just to see people, interact with people. And I try to do at least 20 minutes every day. Sometimes it's a bit longer, but most days I do 20 minutes and then I come home. I've been at home since COVID hit, which is a long time ago now. And I'm asking everyone watching my videos to pray for me, to pray for my financial success, and to pray that I get an in-office job downtown in Toronto, and that things work out for me the way I would like, because things have not worked out for me the way that I wanted them to in Canada. I wanted to retain my home that I purchased here, my condo. I couldn't do that because of the policies of the Liberals and the banks. And it's hard when you're on your own and you're a visible minority and you've come from Zimbabwe and a single parent home. It is difficult. Also making transitions. My mother is married now, so they have their own lives. And we're not a family anymore. I mean, yes, she's still my mother, but my dad will always be my dad for me. And, her husband, Daryl, is her husband, and he's also clear on that. He when he addresses me, he tells me this is my family, meaning his children and whoever from his first marriage. So, I have my sister, I have my brother, and I don't have any expectations of my mother. My mother's done her duty. So for me, I hope that all my disappointments and all my frustrations will come to an end, because this is not the life I envision for myself. I'm an educated woman. I have a lot of good secretarial skills to offer. And if I can't be successful and earn the money I want to earn in Canada, then I'm willing to relocate. They say Australia's nice, so Australia would be good. I've had other friends suggest to me to go to Ireland. So if I get a job in Ireland, that would be nice. And, I'm applying across Canada because I don't want my life to continue to go down this route. And I would like to come up financially and to be independent, the same way that my godmother is independent. And she's also been on her own a long time, but she's always been financially secure. Like, she's never had to go through what I've had to go through, and go through periods where your bills are late, you can't even buy food, you can't pay your rent. She's always had work, and she's always had 2 jobs. And for me, when I do get those opportunities, I take them. While I was studying to do my master's, I had 3 jobs. But after we went into the recession in Canada, work just became very hard to get by. So I'm asking you to pray for the success of my John Maxwell, and to pray that I find a boss who's willing to work with me and to trust me, and also for a reciprocal relationship, because in Canada, they're very quick to let people go. They don't look at job sharing. They don't look at, doing things to retain their staff. They're very quick to cut their head count, and they don't care about all the knowledge they're using to train us. They're willing to lose that. They don't care if they're losing years and years of experience, and it's very hard. So I'm going to be taking, wherever I land next, I'm going to be taking my maturity, my ability to hit the ground running, being a reliable worker. I'm taking all of that with me to wherever I land. And I do want to get a good paid executive assistant job, because that's my forte. That's where I work best, and working with the senior leaders who treat me as a professional and who treat me as a partner, not people who want me there just to get their tea and coffee and take the garbage out and empty the dishwasher. So I hope and I pray that that will come about for me, and that I will not have to stay dependent on others. The reality is that the people who have helped me are also going to be retiring. So, it's going to be my turn to help them. It's going to be my turn to take care of them, which I'm looking forward to, because in my culture, what is happening to me is wrong. Like, you're supposed to be the one who, as your nieces and nephews are growing up, you're sending them birthday cards, you're spoiling them, you're taking them out, you're taking them on trips, you're enjoying watching them grow up. And I haven't had any of those opportunities. So for me, it's been heartbreaking, and it's been very stressful. I don't say anything to the priests in the church anymore because they don't help anyway. Before I used to talk to Father Larry, I used to tell him how hard things are, that I'm looking for a good paid job. I don't talk to any of them anymore. I just take it into prayer, and I put my faith in God. And so I'm asking people to pray for that for me, and that I can have my own car, my own place, and, be able to do the things that I enjoy, because I enjoy being hospitable. I like having people over. I like sharing what I have. And if it's not here, then hopefully it's somewhere else. But please do pray, because I've been very generous with my time, with my money, with the little I have. I've been very generous. And I would like to see that translated into a good paying job for me, because that's what I worked for. That's what I always wanted. And if I can also use my music, there are people who, they travel around the world with people like Sting, with Springsteen. They have opportunities to help them with their charitable events. And I would like to have some of those opportunities too. So thank you for watching my videos and for praying for me. And I know in the past I've asked for prayers for my mother, for my sister, for my brother, but now I'm focusing on my own life. And I don't have that joy of life anymore that I had when I was in South Africa at university, or when I was in Zimbabwe, because I don't have control over my life here. And it's quite sad, because I never come up financially. I'm living off debt. I have a $3,000 overdraft that the bank gave me. And they also gave me an $18,000 line of credit. So I used that to fund my education when I bought my home. And I used that to pay my bills. And also I have credit cards that I use, because if I didn't have that credit and I wasn't a good person, I didn't keep my bills up, they wouldn't give it to me. So, I'd like to start paying down that debt and to buy a home for myself and to be independent. And I'm not somebody that needs to be near family. In the time I've been in Canada since 2007, I haven't seen my sister since my mother came. I've seen her maybe once at my mother's wedding. And my brother, I've seen him once when he's come on holidays. I make a day where I go and see them. So I don't need to be near family. We're not dependent on each other. I'm more than happy to relocate and to go to another place. And I enjoy my own freedom. I enjoy being able to get into a car and drive and go to places and see things. So that's what I would like to do. Initially when I came here to Canada, I did do it because I wanted to be near family. But if you don't have money, you can't make trips to go to America, and you can't get to see people. And whatever I could do, I did. And my godmother knows that. So she's also trying to help me to see if maybe there's a school in Zimbabwe where she can helped to open doors for me and helped to get me into a secretarial job or a communications job, somewhere where I can use my skills and find some happiness in life, because all the things I wanted didn't work out for me. I wanted a family of my own, that didn't work out. I wanted job stability, that didn't work out. I wanted opportunities to travel with a company and to have stability, that didn't work out. And I'm very highly qualified. I know my stuff. I know how to get things done. I know who to go to for what. And I hit the ground running in my jobs. And even with nonprofits, there's a lot of nonprofits working with the indigenous people, working with the poor, where they need administrators, they need secretaries, they need people to keep things organized and running. And that's what I enjoy. I don't enjoy customer service, and I didn't enjoy the call center work. I did it because I had to do it, just like everybody else that works in a call center. There's not many people that want to stay in that low-paid job with high stress, and I'm one of them. So that's my prayer. And, if I could go to Ireland, I have friends in Ireland. I have people I worked with at Future Shop who hated Canada because of how badly they got treated. So they are in Ireland. I have colleagues that I worked with at Bovis who are in England and Ireland as well. I know friends. I have friends in Scotland. I know people in Australia. So it's not like if I leave Canada, I'm going to land up all alone. And my mother prefers it that way too, because she's got her husband and she doesn't want me getting involved in her affairs and what she's doing with my sister or what she's doing with him. So I just keep in touch with my sister, and if they invite me, I go. Other than that, I don't go. The same thing with all the volunteering I've done. If they invited me to things, I went. I helped wherever I could. I took on leadership roles. I've been a parliamentary riding leader for the One campaign, and I'm a global activist right now for them until August. And I hope that the skills that I invested in others, because I recruited others, I trained others, I've helped others, I hope it benefits them and their families so that they can also come up financially, because nobody wants to give to the point of it being a sin where your own life is deteriorating. So that's my prayer, and I do hope things work out for me, because it really has been an awful experience. I hate it when I have to take money from my family, when I have to ask people who are working hard for their money to help me. And, when I go to the bank, they always tell me everybody needs a little help. I'm like, yeah, but you know what? This has been going on since my mother came to Canada. I haven't been able to find any job stability. I haven't been able to come up financially. I haven't been able to do the things I want. I bought a couch. The couch that I have, I bought it 2 years ago. My mother gave me some money. Before that, I didn't have a couch, and I had to put that couch together on my own. I didn't have anything. I had a pull-out couch, like from IKEA, and that's broken now. I don't even have the money to have the people who do garbage come and take it away, and I can't carry it down by myself. You can't leave it on the street. Some people leave their things on the street. So, things are very, very hard for me. This month, I paid my internet and my phone bill late because I didn't have the money. I had to wait for my EI to be deposited, and I had to take out a loan from one of the subprime lenders. So, this is not the life I envisioned for myself, and it's not the life I wanted for myself. You can study, and you can study to show yourself approved unto the Lord, but then you want to earn a living, you want to make your money. You don't want to be constantly with the debtors at your door and not have a home of your own, not have a place of your own. My mother had her own place. We all helped her to keep it in Zimbabwe. And then they moved into a flat. It was her own flat. And our employers, they helped her a lot with food, with clothing, with transportation. So she was not completely on her own, and we had a community that helped her as well when we were not there once we left home as children. So it's important, to remember that. And I don't have anybody that I can go to, that I can turn to say, I need this help, or I want you to please help open doors for me, because I've asked and nobody is doing it for me. So I'm asking you to pray for me, because my life it's a life of broken dreams. Because I was the one who went to university. I was the one who sponsored my mother. I was the one that worked hard. I made the sacrifices, and nothing worked out for me. And I'm hoping and I'm praying that before I retire, I'll be able to buy my own place and to find some comfort in life, because it really is an awful situation. And my reputation was damaged. My reputation was spoiled here in Canada. So I've had to work very, very hard to pull myself up, to bring myself up again, to maintain my mental health, to stay positive. And I'm grateful to my friends. I have good Christian friends. I'm grateful to them for sticking with me and for praying for me, because without that friendship, I would have given up. So that's my prayer and that's my hope. And there's always, even in chaos, there's always opportunity. That's what I believe. There's always opportunity. So I pray that God would open that right door for me. Now I'm going to do this scripture, the case study for today. And I'm moving on to a new chapter in this book with my John Maxwell speaking. I'm also a spiritual director in the Catholic Church, but this is for my John Maxwell and focusing on 21 qualities of leaders in the Bible. And today's chapter is Genesis 27, 1 to 45. So it's basically about how Rebecca gets the blessing that's supposed to go to Esau put onto Jacob through deception. That's what the scripture is about. And the first question is, how did Jacob view Esau? So he viewed Esau as worthy of the blessing that he wanted to give him. He could no longer see, so he told him to go out, because he was an old man, to get his equipment, the quiver and bow, and go out and hunt for some wild game, and to prepare the tasty food that he liked, so that he could give him his blessing before he died. He trusted him to do what was right and to obey the instructions given to him. So he saw him as trustworthy, and he loved him as his son. And then the second question, why did Rebecca instigate Jacob's deception? Do you think it was because the Lord had told her the older twin would serve the younger? See Genesis 25:23. Because she loved Jacob more, see Genesis 25:28, or for some other reason. So my thinking is that Rebecca favored Jacob and wanted him to get the blessing that should have gone to Esau. And that's why she did it. She deceived Isaac instead of letting him give the blessing to who he wanted to give it to. And Jacob should not have listened to her, even though she told him to deceive him. She told him to wear this rough skin, because his skin was smooth and Esau's was rough. She covered his hands with the goat skins, and it doesn't look like Isaac even recognized a difference in their voices, because he couldn't see. But sometimes you can recognize a person's voice, but it doesn't look like he recognized a difference in their voice. So the person must have been mimicking, Jacob must have been mimicking him. And some people are very good at that. My mom is good at that. She changes her voice and she's good at imitating people. So maybe that's what he did. I don't know. But Jacob should have refused to do what Rebekah was telling him to do, and he didn't. He just went and he took this blessing and he deceived him. So Isaac was hurt by the deception because he gave the blessing to him. He couldn't take it away. He already gave that blessing. And when Esau comes in and asks for the blessing, he says, I can't do it now, basically, because I already gave that blessing. And he asks him, haven't you reserved any blessing for me? And he says, no, I've made him lord over you and have made all his relatives and servants, and I have sustained him with grain and new wine. So what can I possibly do for you? So it causes hurt. It hurts Isaac, and then it hurts Esau because of this lie, the lie that was carried out by Jacob. And then that's the next question. What impact did the deception have on their family? How did it affect each person? So the deception hurt Esau. It hurt Rebekah because it resulted in her losing both her sons, because the son Esau held a grudge against Jacob, and because of the blessing given to him, he wanted to kill him. And then she also lost Jacob because of that. So she had to send him away. And so that's what happens when there's deception involved. Jacob could no longer stay. Esau was hurt. So then Jacob landed up being hurt because he refused to tell the truth by his refusing the blessing. He should have refused the blessing. He should have refused to take up what Rebekah was telling him to do, and he didn't. So as a result, all their relationships suffered, and all of them got hurt, and all of them landed up suffering. And that's what lands up happening in our societies, in our families, and in our communities, when people don't want to tell the truth. And people think that they can get the blessing that was somebody else has worked for, or somebody else should be getting in terms of the Bible scriptures. And you see that, you see it with musicians as well. We used to have like Diana Ross and the Supremes, and you see how the one gets favored by the manager over the others. But then their lives land up in like becoming destitute. And you see it like with Ike and Tina Turner. He was so awful to her. He used to hit her and beat her up, even when she had the baby. He used to force her to go on the stage and sing. And she saved her own life, thankfully. But it just shows you how the hurt carries on, and all the relationships get affected. Everybody lands up getting hurt, and everything gets broken. And that's what's happening now in Canada, because the systems that were put in place have resulted in good people losing everything and created a drug society, a criminal society. So it's very sad. It's very sad. And I would say that that's what happened in Rhodesia too. Not everyone has to agree with me, and that's perfectly fine. But the human rights should have been for everybody. And then they said, no, black majority rule, because they wanted to protect America and Americans. They looked out for their own interests, and so people who were not black landed up suffering. All our farmers, all of us who own properties. Some people lost everything. And it's the same with the laws that they put in place in Canada. If I held my place for 10 years and I kept the payments up to date, they should have renewed my mortgage, but they refused. So I landed up losing my place. And yes, I got to go to Zimbabwe, hopefully not for the last time, but I got to go and see everybody after a very long time. It was my first trip home since 1999, 5 years ago. That's a long time. I don't go on holidays every year. I don't see the family in America. The only time I got to see them was because my godmother used to send me tickets to come, because I never had any money to do anything, because most of the time I'm unemployed, sitting at home, trying to build a business, sending out applications for work, and I didn't do anything wrong. So, that's what happens, because there was deception in our government, there was corruption, there were big scandals, and as a result, many people are suffering. And many of us who would have liked to have gone back to Zimbabwe can't go because there's no jobs there. There's absolutely nothing here. Hopefully you can get something, even if it's like a contract or something. But there's nothing there. And they don't want to take back the people like me who could help them to put the systems in place that would help people. So we do what we can and we trust in the Lord. But that's what happens when deception happens. And it's sad. It's very sad. But that's where I am in my life. And I think I'm fortunate because what I didn't get with Bono, I do have now with the John Maxwell team. I have Roddy as a mentor, Roddy Galbraith, and I have a team of executive where I can hop on calls and I can join in the calls and ask them my questions as well as listen to others. And it's sad for me because that's what I wanted, but sometimes it doesn't work out the way we want. So, and we don't know why. I did ask him many times, why don't you want to hire me? But it's one of those things. So we put our faith in God and we move forward. And, this is not, I always say this is not my country. It is my country, but it's not my country. Because the way that the artists are, like when they go to America, that's how they are in Zimbabwe. They'll come out, they'll talk to us, they'll spend time with us. I don't think Canadians like it because they don't do it here. But it's a different culture. And so I had to do a lot of adapting, a lot of changing. And it hurts. It hurts because you can't be yourself. You can't be who you are. And it's not, I come from a European background. So it's very hard. It's very, very hard. But I hope and I pray that I'll find that right fit for me and that God will bless my John Maxwell speaking and take me to the right place where I can earn a good salary and I can start saving and buy my own place, because that's what I would like to do. And I don't want to be dependent on others. I don't want to be living off social assistance, living off welfare. That's not why I went to school. That's not why I studied. And that's not why I use my skills in the church, in nonprofits, because I'm building them up. They're not building me up. They're not sending me jobs. They're not helping me to get to where I want to be. I'm helping them to get to where they want to be. So I hope I find that right organization that will help me to get to where I want to be, because I am worth it. I am worth it. So I hope that helps you. And if you know anyone looking to set up small groups, looking for somebody in ministry, or even in a corporate setting for an executive assistant in administration, then do contact me. and let me know. I would love to hear from you.